Everybody, Essence here, and I just wanted to share a couple takeaways from my 40-day abundance journey following this book by John Randolph Price. And this is probably my third or fourth time in the last few years doing this. And I would have to say, like, I feel like this is the first time that I've just really been so awake to or woke to um like my habitual thought patterns around money, and they're not pretty. But that was also one of the intentions that I set at the very beginning. It wasn't necessarily to demonstrate money, it was really to realize that the source of abundance is in me, because I have this tendency to like want to go out and chase, and that's literally like what it feels like in my body. Is like I'm leaving, my spirit is leaving my body and like going out into the ethers, like looking for money. And I want to create money from this centered place of knowing that the source of all abundance is me, is inside of me. There's no place to run to. And so I do have more money in my account than when I started. So celebrate that. But I'm so much more proud of doing this every single day. I think there was only 2 days in which it like got to the end of the evening and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't do it. But pretty much every day I showed up during the day and sat with this. I did not record as many videos as I wanted to. It just felt very sacred to me for some reason. And like making a video felt like I was pushing myself, and I don't really like to do things from push or force. So I just decided that I would do it when it felt natural. And like now it actually feels natural at the end. But I just wanted to share a couple takeaways. And so one, again, is just really seeing how my brain is just has this pattern of wanting to go out and look outside of myself for money versus like knowing that I'm the source, and like really checking in with the God within me in regards to what I need, want, or, want to create financially. And so I was able to really be present with that. And when I would catch that energy, it would like be like, bring it back in, bring it back in. There's nowhere to run to. It is all here. And that was just mind blowing to see how many times, how often I do that and that I wasn't aware of. I was able to see how much my brain thinks the thought like there's not enough, and about so many different things. There's just this running story of, it could be like tissue, there's not enough tissue. There's not enough clean underwear. It's just like there's not enough, just as like like just runs through my mind. It's like my brain is looking for where there's not enough. And so then I just started to practice wherever, like there's enough food in the refrigerator, however much is in my account, that's enough, however much bar of soap is left is enough. And I would just like go throughout days, just like pointing, even seeing things that could be, refilled. Like when that bar of soap is getting small, it's like still I'm saying that is enough, because you know what it is, I can clean myself with that today. But it's really about training my brain to not be so focused on when there's not enough of something. Another thing from one of his other books, he talked about transmuting situations with love. So basically, when something shows up in your life, something is happening that you think shouldn't be happening, it's like, how can you love it? How can you find the good or the lesson in it and bring love to it versus bringing, the anger, resentment, or whatever that is. So just like practicing when something shows up in my reality that is like not wanted, it's like, oh, but how can I love it? How can I bring in that energy of love to like transmute whatever low vibrational emotion I'm feeling around that situation? I was reading this book by Catherine Ponder, And one of the things that really stuck out to me that I wish I had read as like a little girl was that she says that poverty is a sin. And so while, most of us and probably us watching this aren't in poverty, but it's still just like that lack mentality, thinking, like knowing that that is a sin. And what she says is basically like the jails and the prisons are filled with, thieves and murderers and wrongdoers. And a lot of it comes from like impoverished thinking. And that when we are not living in our abundance, it's a sin because we aren't living in the truth of God's unlimited abundance. And so when you're seeing anything outside of God's unlimited abundance, that's a sin. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, I wish, because I know I still have a lot of probably Christian programming still within me around, money, and you get your basically, you get your big payout in heaven. And I know some of that is still there. And so I feel like if I could have just been reading texts like this at a young age, then it would sink in. It would have been like in my subconscious mind. So it's just a lot of learning and unlearning that there is to do. And I also would find myself reading through some of those statements and basically like, well, if the infinite mind is within me, or the source of abundance is within me, then why am I not giving myself this big pile of money, like things like that, my ego mind saying things like that. And then I would go back to thinking, because in the book he talks about the law of supply. And so when my mind would do that, I would go back to like, there's a law of supply. And when there's a law, there's rules to follow, which is basically, like cause and effect. So if I'm not creating the cause with my mind and energy, then the money or the thing, whatever it is you're wanting to demonstrate, is not going to be there. So when I would find myself wanting to go into like the needy child like energy of like, well, why isn't it here yet? It's like checking in with yourself. Well, have you been thinking prosperous, abundant thoughts? Well, then how do you expect that prosperous, abundant effect to be showing up in your life? And so that has been really huge to holding me accountable for like my energy and my thinking when I think about the law of supply running through me. And like that is what demonstrates, but you have to follow the rules of the law of supply, the law of cause and effect. And that again really served me. And I'm going to continue on this journey. I've made a commitment to myself to continue with anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour a day of like wealth consciousness. So maybe reading a book or watching a YouTube video, but like every day replanting seeds of wealth and abundance within me. And I'm really excited about this. And so I hope that you have enjoyed your journey. I would love to hear what you gained or learned, or what new awareness or insights or habit patterns that came up. I would love if you would share with me in the comments. Other than that, I will talk to you later.